These are supplies to make our tray, and we have A6000, 2 handles, wood caps, a bag, a tray, this crimson paint, Elmer's glue, and this spray paint in red. Hello guys, my name is Kiki and let's jump into today's project. First we're going to take our tray and we're going to paint it with that red spray paint, and here we have it. And as you can see, I even painted the rope because we're not going to use that. Now I'm taking the smaller wood caps that the bag has, and I'm going to glue them, and as you can see, they want to go everywhere. And I'm going to glue them using the A6000, and like that, we will have a tray with cute feet. And we will add 4 feet and let it dry. And then I'm going to take off the rope and I'm going to add those beautiful handles by screwing them. And my son was playing with the camera, that's why you saw that. And we're going to screw them like that using a washer because the hole on the tray was a little bit bigger than my screw. And I'm having some issues with this screw that doesn't want to go in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off completely. Then I'm going to come back with the screw and the handle and place the screw on the hole that the handle has so I can make it go through all of that hole and put it again. Yeah, it was a little bit complicated and I didn't have the footage for that. But I think you understood the mathematics around that. So now I'm going to screw it really nicely, really tight, and then I'm going to do the same for the other side. And after that, we're going to flip it over and start painting our wood caps or our legs. And I'm going to use the crimson red, and I'm going to paint the legs, and I'm going to paint the bottom of the tray because as you can see, there's no way to paint that without getting everything else painted. So I'm going to paint the bottom and those legs, and that will make it look a little bit more cohesive. So we painted really nicely, and you saw my son just giving me his plate because I was taking too long to paint this. He was hungry. And we're going to continue painting, and I just fed him. So after that, we're going to let it dry, and then I'm going to come back with some Elmer's glue and this bag. And I'm going to cut the side that's not folded completely. Then I'm going to remove those strings that it has. And this is pretty easy, but you have to be careful. Then I'm going to measure it, cut it like that. And now I'm going to add some water to the paper. I've seen many people do this, and this is awesome. Always spray your paper. Then I'm going to add some Elmer's glue to the bottom of the tray, and then I'm going to add my Santa like that, and it needed a little bit more water. I just realized that right now. And then I'm going to start playing around and just pressing it and getting out all of the air bubbles and glue bubbles that we have. And then I'm going to apply or use my sponge to press it down. After I finish with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply more of that Elmer's glue on the top of my Santa. And when we finish with that, we're going to let it dry completely. It will take a couple of hours to dry. And you will see that my son ripped the paper a little bit on the side. But it turned out beautiful. This is part of the monthly DIY challenge hosted by Sonia from Domestic Diva DIY. You're going to find in the description box down below the links to all of her channels so you can go and check her out. You're also going to find the link for the playlist. Now to make our stool, we're going to use wood round like this one and dowels, and I cut a 22-degree angle on both legs, and as you can see, one goes to one side and the other one to the other side. Some screws, white paint, and crimson chalk paint. First, we're going to remove the label And we're gonna start placing our legs and measuring them so we get them in the right place. And that took forever. Now I'm just gonna grab my screws. You can use nails, and I would have used nails on this one. But as I'm using this to place Santa's cookies with a plate, I won't mind the end result. And I almost stabbed myself. That was what I was showing you. You have to be really careful while you're screwing this screws. Yeah, I just said screwing screws on the wood round. If you have a drill, use it because it will save you lots of time. But as I don't have a drill, I'm just screwing those legs to the wood round. And now that we have it, we're gonna start painting it. And for that, I'm gonna use crimson on the top, like so. And I'm gonna paint it completely, that top part, on crimson. We're gonna give it a good coat, and we won't need another coat. So when we finish with that, I'm gonna take half of my legs and I'm gonna paint it in that beautiful crimson red. And for those, I'm gonna do 2 coats. Then I'm gonna take that and the piece of the bag that we have left over, and I'm gonna cut that back part of the bag like so, and then I'm gonna attach or cut first that Santa that the bag has, and I'm impatient and you know it, and that's why I have all of my fingers covered in red paint. And I removed the strings on the top, and now I'm gonna add water to my paper and Elmer's glue to the top of the stool. I'm gonna apply it completely like that. And then I'm gonna bring my Santa and I'm gonna start working on it so I can get as much air bubbles as I can out of that paper. And I wanna do that because I know I have 3 screws. So I don't want anything else poking into my paper. So I'm gonna play around with my fingers, with the sponge, just to get it as flat as I can. And after that, we're gonna let it dry really nicely. But first, I'm gonna add a little bit of that glue on top of my Santa. Then, I'm gonna come back with the white chalk paint. And I'm gonna paint the legs. And as you can see, you have a hint of our next project over there. And I hid that. Because you shouldn't be seeing that. And after that, we have it. And for our coasters, we're gonna use white paint, crimson, wood rounds, and we're gonna start by painting 2 of those wood rounds on this crimson Waverly chalk paint. And I love this type of red. It looks so beautiful and so festive. So we're gonna cover the first and only coat. And we're gonna cover the front of them. Now I'm gonna do the same with the white chalk paint. Just like that, we're gonna paint it really nicely, like so. Cover the front completely, only the front, because this is for Santa. So we need it to look cute. Now I'm just taking a piece of a sponge and I'm gonna do, or stencil, this snowflake in white on the red coasters and in red on the white coasters. Now you're gonna see me stencil it in red. And that will be it. And this is how our Santa milk and cookies station turned out. As you can see, I added that believe sign on the top, and this is how it's looking. My son ripped the edge of the paper. That's why you can see some dents on it. But I think that adds character, right? And here is the cute stool. Yes, I know, we can see those screws, but over there, I'm gonna put the plate with the cookies. And over here, we have the coasters, so Santa won't damage my table. And here is everything together. I just love it. Look at that. That bag was beautiful. Remember that in the description box down below, I'm gonna leave you the link to the playlist and also to all of Sonia's channels. Go and check that out. And remember that if you like it, hit the thumbs up. If you love it, subscribe so you can keep on watching these type of videos. Take care. Bye-bye.